what we are going to do here in the test plan? Any idea? So it's a document. Test plan is a document that we are going to prepare. We are going to prepare what we are going to do in the future. What all the activities that we are going to do it in the, what all the activities that we are going to do in the future. What all the activities that we are going to do in the future for this particular project. Okay, it is a document that we are going to prepare what all the future activities that we are going to perform in this particular project. Okay, this is test plan document. Test plan document. So we are going to prepare what all the future activities that we are going to cover in the project. Okay, that is test plan document. Test plan. So in the test plan we have around 15 steps. We are going to follow 15 steps. Okay, the first one is objective. What is meant by objective? What is the objective? So maybe in your resumes also will be keeping as an objective. What is an objective?
What should be the aim?
Yeah, aim. What we are gonna do in this particular project. What we are gonna do. Okay. What is the aim of this main aim of this project? So that we are gonna write. So test plan document will be prepared by project manager and test lead. Okay, 70% will be project manager, 30% will be test lead, or 20% will be the test lead and test engineer will be 10%. It depends. Okay. Project manager will be 70%, test lead will be 20%, and test engineer will be 10%. So this is the document preparation. So these three people will be involving to prepare the test plan document. As a test engineer, we no need to worry about what all the things that we have, but we need to know what all the things that will be there in the test plan. So they are gonna explain you about. They are gonna ask you about explain about the test plan. What all the things that we are gonna keep it in the test plan document. So object means we are gonna explain about our aim of the project. Okay, next, scope. What is mean by scope? Scope.
Chances. How much chances?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. In the scope, we are gonna discuss about what all the features that we are gonna, what all the features that we are gonna test. What are the features that we are going to test? What are the features that we are not going to test? That we are not going to test. So we are going to discuss about this in the scope. So what features that we are going to cover in this testing? What features we are not going to cover in this project? So suppose we are testing a Gmail application. So in the Gmail application, we need to cover login. We need to cover compose mail. We need to cover sent items. We need to cover drafts. We need to cover delete items. Okay, these are the features that we are going to cover in this particular Gmail application. Okay, what we are not going to test? We are not going to test help. So I'll give an example as help, because help is just, it is a document that we are going to that is prepared. Help what will be there? Just it explain you what all the features that we have, how to use that feature and all, right? That is a documentation, just a documentation, right? So we are not going to test this documentation because this documentation will be reviewed and tested by the who prepares this document. Okay, so content team will take care of this help. So that we are not gonna test it in scope. That we are not gonna test it in this Gmail application. So that's like this we are gonna keep it in the scope document. Okay, I got it. First one is objective, main aim of the project that we are gonna do. So here the main aim of the project is to develop a Gmail application. Okay, that is the aim of the Gmail application, aim of the test plan. And scope is we are going to discuss what all the features that we are going to test, what all the features that we are not going to test. So we are going to clearly mention what all the features that we are going to test it in the scope. So for Gmail application, login, compose mail, send items, drafts, delete items. These are the features that we are going to test it in this Gmail application, and help is the one which we are not going to test it. Okay, how you know what are the features that we are gonna test it? Where you are getting this one from? This information?
TRS.
From business analyst, that means
Yeah.
customer.
Yeah, from requirement, right? We are gonna get all the features that we have for Gmail application will be coming from the requirement. Okay. Yeah. Anyhow, business analyst requirement will be given the requirement. So from the requirement, we are gonna get all the features that we have in the requirement. Okay, this is second one. Have you got it? What is mean by objective? What is mean by scope? What are the things that we are going to cover in the scope?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Then third one is approach. Okay. Third one is, sorry. What are all the testing types that we are going to cover? Testing types. So here we are going to decide what all the testing types that we are going to cover it here. So functional testing. What are the testing types that we have? Integration testing. Third one, system testing. Fourth one, ad hoc. Fifth one, regression testing. I'll tell you about ad hoc testing, regression testing, okay? Don't worry about it now. Regression testing. Sixth one, smoke test. Seventh one, sanity. Okay, eighth one, performance testing. Ninth one, security testing. Okay, don't worry about performance and security testing. I'll tell you why we are writing here. So here we are, what all the testing types, what all the testings that we are going to do. So these are the testing types that we are going to cover in the project. So we are going to explain, we are going to write, we are going to, in the testing types, we are going to mention what all the testing types that we are going to cover it in the project. So these are all the testing types that we are going to cover. We know what is meant by functional testing. We know what is meant by integrated testing. Would you know what is meant by system testing? So we can do exploratory testing. Exploratory. This is also one of the testing that we do. So, okay. These are the testing types that we are going to do. So I'll explain you what is meant by ad hoc, what is meant by exploratory testing, what is meant by regression testing, smoke test, sanity test. So these are the things that I'm going to explain you later. Okay, these are the testing types. So in the testing type section, we write what all the testing types that we are going to do in the project. So that is testing types. Okay. First one is objective, second one is scope, third one is testing types. Okay. Next, fourth one, approach. Approach. What is mean by approach? What is mean by approach? So how we are going to design test cases. So here in the approach, how we are going to design the test cases. So first what we do, we design high level scenarios, then write test cases. So this is the approach that we are going to follow. First we are going to write the scenarios, identify all the scenarios, then we write the test cases. This is the approach that we are going to follow. Okay. Fifth one. Any doubts? Any doubts?
No.
Okay. Next, fifth one is assumptions. What do you mean by assumption? Assumption. So just we are assuming, right? So number of
Predicting.
resources. Okay. Number of resources required for this project. Required for this project. Can we able to tell exact number how many resources we required for this particular project? No, right? We can't tell. We can't just it's an assumption that it's gonna take it's gonna require 3 resources.
Human
Okay.
resource, financial.
So
No.
here we are not going to discuss about anything because this is a test plan document. We are going to talk only about the
Okay.
resources that we are here. So only testers, how many testers that we required here in this particular project. Okay. So suppose we think that we assume that 3 testers is enough to test this project. Okay. This is an assumption. Resources is an assumption. Okay. Just an assumption that just we are assuming that 3 testers is enough to test this project. Okay, that is one of the assumption. So one more, technology. What is mean by technology? I have explained in the first class. What is mean by technology? So suppose we need to develop an automation. Okay, we need to develop an automation. So we plan to do it in
Back-end process.
we plan to develop it in Selenium. Sorry, Santika. Technology. Okay. We are planning to develop an automation for this particular project. Okay. For that, we are going to use Selenium and Java. What tools we are going to use? What technology we are going to use? Java is the technology, right? Whatever the coding language that we are going to use it that coding we'll call it as a technology. So here Selenium and Java are the tools, or Selenium is the tool and Java is the technology that we are going to use it for developing an automation. This is also an assumption. Okay, this is also an assumption because we just know we know the theoretical part. Based on our theoretical understanding of the requirement, we are assuming how many resources we required and what are the technologies that we can use to develop an automation. So this is also an assumption. Okay, technology is an assumption. So maybe this technology may not support for automating. So maybe Selenium is not supported for one of the functionality, but we are not sure. But based on our understanding, this is a suitable automation tool and technology that we are gonna decide. So based on our understanding, We are just assuming that this will be the right tool and right technology to implement an automation. So this is also an assumption. Okay, number of resources required is an assumption, and whatever the tool that we are gonna use for automating an application, and whatever the technology that we are gonna use to implement an automation. So these two are the assumptions that we are gonna discuss in assumptions part. Okay. Okay. Next, if assumptions fail, what we are gonna do? If assumptions fail, then what we are gonna have? If assumption fails, what will be there will be a risk, right? If our assumption fails, there will be a risk to deliver the project on time, right? So next one is risk. So if our assumption fails, then what steps we are gonna do? Then what steps we are gonna take? Going to take. So these are, so they'll explain about here. If our assumption fails, then what steps we are gonna take? Okay, in risk, they'll explain about the risks that we are gonna get it if our assumption fails. Okay, if assumption fail, then risk will be involved. This is about risk. Here they are gonna explain about the risks that we are gonna get if our assumption fails, which is fifth step, assumption. Okay, next, seventh one. So we need to have a, so if we have a risk, then we need to have a plan, right, to overcome this risk. So mitigation plan. Or contingency plan. CONTING, contingency. Okay, so mitigation plan or contingency plan. So here, if the risk fails, we need to plan. So suppose in mitigation plan, suppose we have three testers, right? I told you about there we have three testers. Okay, we have, so login functionality, compose mail, sent items. So he's gonna take care of login, he's gonna take care of compose mail, he's gonna take care of sent items. Okay, so in the middle, if any one of the resource leaves the company, in the middle, if any one of the resource leaves company, so this resource having the knowledge of login functionality, this resource having the knowledge of sent items, this resource having the knowledge of compose mail. If the second resource leaves the company, if he leaves the company, then who is going to cover this? Compose. These people, suppose if these people don't have the knowledge of compose mail, then we are gonna be in a risk, right? So for that purpose, what we are gonna do? So this guy will be having a knowledge of compose mail. This guy will be having a knowledge of login. This guy will be having a knowledge of sent items. So each and every person will be having a knowledge of one or two applications, one or two features. So if any one of the resource goes, we are going to reduce that risk from 100% to 20%. So if this guy leaves, then already this first resource have the knowledge of compose mail. So he's going to take care of this compose mail until we get a new resource. Okay, so like this, we are going to have a mitigation plan. For every risk, we are going to have a mitigation plan. So we are going to decide this first resource has to have a knowledge of login functionality and compose mail. Though he's totally concentrating on login, but we'll be having a knowledge of compose mail, so that we can reduce the risk if the second resource leaves the company. from 100% to 20%. So if we don't have any knowledge of compose mail, if any of the other two resources don't have any knowledge on the compose mail, then we'll be having a risk of 100%. Okay, so that's why we are going to reduce the risk from 100% to 20% by involving the other tester into one of the features. So each and every resource will be having a knowledge of one or the other features, one or more features. Okay, this way we'll have a mitigation plan. Have you got it?
Yes.
Okay, that is
Yes.
mitigation plan. So if you have any doubts, please ask me. Next one is roles and responsibilities. So roles and responsibilities. What is the number of these roles and responsibilities? Number 8. So here in roles and responsibilities, we are going to discuss what all the roles that each tester, what all the roles for test manager, test lead, senior test engineer, and tester, test engineer, and we'll be having a fresher. So every team will be divided into like this. So in each and every team, there will be one experienced person, one medium, one fresher. So they'll split the team into in such a way so that no need to keep all the senior test engineers. That will cost the project, right? Cost of the project will increase. So one senior test engineer, one middle level, and the one fresher. So they'll divide the team like that so that the team will so that the cost of the project will be reduced. Okay, that's why we are going to reduce this like this. So one test lead, one test manager, one senior test engineer, one test engineer, one fresher. So we are going to discuss each and every person's roles and responsibilities in this project. Okay, we are going to discuss each and every member of the roles and responsibilities in this project. So what are the roles of test manager and test manager? What are the roles of test manager? What he is going to do? Where all he involved? What is the role of test manager? I have told you one thing about test manager in the beginning.
Test scenarios were prepared by
Test scenarios or test
test
plan?
manager.
Test manager will
Yes.
prepare test scenarios? No.
Test plans?
Yeah, test plan. Okay, test plan. Okay, or review test plan. Okay, this is one of the responsibility that he is going to have. So he will be interacting with the customer. He will be interacting with the customer or product owner. Okay, so if we have any doubts, then we are going to test. See, I am a senior test engineer. If I have any doubt or if I have any problem, then I'm going to inform to the test lead. Okay. If test lead can't able to help me, then he's going to go to the test manager. Okay. So I have a doubt as a senior test engineer. I have a doubt on the application. Then I'm going to ask to the test lead. If test lead is not able to help, he will go to the test manager. If test manager is not able to help about the functionality, then he will go to the customer or product owner to clarify the doubt. Okay, that is way it will go sequence. So what we can't go directly as a test engineer or as a senior test engineer. I can't go directly to the test manager and talk to them about my problem. In middle, we have a test lead. So we are gonna tell to the test lead that I have so and so problem. Okay. So interact with the customer or product owner. So that's why the interaction with the customer or product owner will be taken care by test manager. Suppose and releases part. So what all the deliverables that we are gonna do in what times? Those are the things that will be taken care by test manager. So these are the few responsibilities that he is going to take care. Okay. So handling issues. As I said, if we have any issue, so these are the few roles and responsibilities of a test manager. Okay, he's gonna review the test plan or write a test plan, interact with the customer or product owner. He is gonna talk about the releases. He will be handling the issues. These are the roles of test manager. Okay. Is it fine? Hopefully, because
Yes.
okay. What about the test lead now? What he's gonna do? Test lead. As a test lead, what all the roles that he will be doing? So he's reviewing the test plan, or writing test plan, preparing the test plan. Okay. Then he's gonna assign work to test engineers. Okay. What is mean by assigning the work to the test engineers? So we have a 3 testers, right? So he is gonna assign the work, log into Sunita Garu and compose to Nick and sent items to Usha, then delete items to Ajay, and one more, what we'll call drafts to Geeta. So like this, he will be assigning the work to the test engineers. Okay, he will be assigning the work to the test engineers. What all the features each test engineer has to be taken care of. Okay, next, he will be, if we raise a defect, then test lead will be speaking to the developers. Test lead will be speaking to the developers. If you have any issue, then he will be speaking to the developers. Okay. If you have any issue with the developer, then he's going to take care of that problem. Okay. If you have raised any defect, then he is going to discuss about the defect with the developer. Okay. These are the few responsibilities that we have in the test lead. Okay. He's going to review the test plan or prepare the test plan, assign the work to the test engineers, and he will be interacting with the developers if you have any issues. Okay. Those are the responsibilities of test lead. So one more thing. So he will be consolidating all the reports. Consolidating all the reports. What is meant by consolidating all the reports? Consolidating. What is meant by consolidating? What is meant by consolidating? So as I said, we have we have 5 testers. Okay, we have 5 testers. Each one has each one is testing one of the feature, taking care of one of the feature. So login. So now we have login, compose mail, drafts, delete items, sent items. Okay. So Sunita is testing the login functionality. Okay. She has written the test cases of around 400 test cases. Okay. He has written 400 test cases for login functionality, and Nick has written 200 test cases for compose mail, And Geeta has written 300 test cases for drafts, and Ajay has written 150 test cases for sent items. And who is else? Who is else? I missed. Usha. Usha has written 200 test cases for what is miss? Compose mail. So this 400 or 200 or 300 or 150 or 200, we're not able to finish it in a single day, right? Max we can able to test manually 8 to 15 test cases in a day. Okay, it depends on how big it is. So max we can test 15 test cases in a day. Minimum we can test 8 test cases in a day. This is an assumption, okay, based on the difficulty level, based on the test cases. So if it is a big test cases, we're gonna test only 8 in a day. So if we have a smaller test cases, then we're gonna go until 15. So each and every day. So if uh, Sunita has tested 15 test cases, okay, she will send daily report. She will send daily report to test lead about login functionality report. Okay, number of test cases passed. Feature is login functionality. Number of test cases passed. Number of test cases failed. Number of test cases executed. Number of test cases pending. So this is the report that she's gonna send it to the test lead. Okay, and same way he has tested 10 test cases and he will send a report to the test lead. And Usha is gonna send a test report for, and Nick is gonna send a test report. Geeta is gonna send a test report. So all the 5 people will send their individual test reports. So in test reports, what they are gonna mention? Number of test cases executed, number of test cases passed, number of test cases failed. Okay, number of test cases pending. So total count. So total percentage has been completed. Like this, they are gonna send a individual report to the test lead. So what he's gonna do? He's gonna take all the reports which has sent by the 5 testers, and he will prepare one single consolidated report and send it to the management or to the customer. So that is the consolidating the reports. Consolidating all the reports that which we have sent individually. Those will be consolidated and send it to the customer or management. So login, compose mail, and sent items. So 10 test cases executed, 15 test cases executed, 20 test cases executed. Out of 400, out of 300, out of 200. Number of pending test cases, 390. Number of test cases pending here, 285. Number of test cases pending here, 180. So he is going to send same way. The report templates will be decided in the template section. So for this particular project, what all the templates that we are going to follow? So the same templates we are going to follow. So it doesn't mean we need to follow, everyone will follow the same template. Okay, each and every company will follow a different template, different types of templates. So this is the template. Suppose this is the template that we are going to follow in this in this test report template. We are going to have a feature name, number of test cases, number of test cases executed, number of test cases passed, number of test cases failed. Okay, total count, total pass percentage, total fail percentage, and total remaining percentage. So this is the test template that we have to follow. Just an example. Okay, so whatever the reports that we have sent individually to the test lead, that will be consolidated and send it to the customer or management, to the whole team. Okay, this is about roles and responsibilities of a test lead. Any doubt? Any doubts?
No.
Okay. What are the roles of senior test engineer? What are the roles of a senior test engineer? So senior test engineer will review the test plan. Okay. Review the test cases. Okay. Write the traceability matrix. Prepare the traceability matrix. Okay. These are the things that he is going to do. He will also executing the test cases. Alexa, stop. So senior test engineer, he will review the test plan because we already told, right? 70% test manager, 20% test lead, 10% will be the test engineer. So he is going to take care of that 10%. So whatever the document that we have, whatever the total test plan document that we have, that will be reviewed by the test manager, test lead, and senior test engineer. So the same way, whatever the test cases that we have written, he will be one of the reviewer. Okay, he will be reviewing the test cases because as a fresher, we have a fresher in the team. He might be not that good in writing the test cases, right? He is new to the testing, so he will be writing test cases in it might be not that good. So that part he will be taking care. Senior test engineer will help the fresher to how to write the test cases and all. So traceability matrix, I already told you about the traceability matrix. So this document will be prepared by the senior test engineer, and he will also involve in test execution. So these are the roles and responsibilities of senior test engineer. Okay. Same way, test engineer will have what all the test engineer what he will do. Test engineer as a test engineer, what all the roles and responsibilities? Can you guess? Test engineer. So he's gonna review the test cases because we review test cases in between two testers, right? We're gonna review the test cases. He's gonna write the test cases. He will execute the test cases. So these are the responsibilities that he is gonna take care. So he will be sending individual reports. Will be sending each and every test engineer. That's everyone's responsibility. Okay, individual reports will be sending. Test reports will be sending to the test lead. So he will review the test cases. Will write the test cases or identify the scenarios and write the test cases, execute the test cases, and send the report to the test lead. Okay. As a fresher, what he's gonna do? He's gonna write the test cases. Okay. He's gonna execute the test cases. Test fresher. Write test cases. Okay. Execute the test cases. Then send the report. So these are the responsibilities that. So we are not gonna ask the fresher to review the test cases. Okay. We are not gonna ask the fresher to review the test cases. So he will be writing the test. Okay, it might be 2 leads, it might be 3 leads, it might be 2 test managers, it might be 10 senior test engineers and 5 test engineers and 3 freshers. Okay, it depends on the project. If it is a big project, we'll be having more test engineers, more test leads. If it is a small project, we'll be having only 1 test lead, 1 test manager. So suppose we have 3 projects, we are doing 3 projects. So what will be the structure? Test manager will be one manager will be taking care of all the 3 small projects. So test lead, one more test lead for each project. Test engineer, and fresher. Same way, we'll be having senior test engineer, fresher, senior test engineer, fresher. Okay. So yes, no,
No.
okay. Next one. So tell me what all 8 I have discussed now. What is the first one?
Objective.
Okay. Objective. First one is objective, where we are going to discuss about the aim. What exactly we're going to discuss, what we are going to do exactly do in that particular project. Okay. Next one is objective scope. In scope, we are going to discuss about what all the features that we are going to cover in this testing and what all the features that we are not going to cover in testing. So we are going to clearly mention there in the scope. Approach. Third one is approach. In the approach, so what we are going to do in the
Testing
approach?
types.
Yeah. Third one is testing types. Here we are going to mention what all the testing types that we are going to cover. And fourth one is approach. What is meant by approach?
How we are designing test cases.
Yeah. How we are going to design the test cases. So we are going to write first high level scenarios, identify all the high level scenarios, then we are going to write the test cases. That is the approach that we are going to follow. Next, fifth one is
Assumptions.
yeah, fifth one is assumptions. So here we are going to assume we are going to take an assumption that we required only 3 testers for this project, and 3 testers is enough to test whole this project. That is an assumption. And if you want to do an automation, we are going to select a Selenium tool and Java as a technology. So that is also an assumption that this automation will be covered with the Selenium. Okay, that is also technology is also and technology or tools are also an assumption. Okay, next, if assumption fails, what happens? Next,
Risk.
So if assumption fail, then risks are involved. So in the risk, whatever the risks that we are gonna have due to the failure of assumptions, then that thing we are gonna mention it in the risks. Next, how to overcome the risks? Mitigation plan or contingency. Yeah, contingency plan. Yeah. So yeah. So mitigation plan and contingency plan. So here we are gonna discuss the risks. If the risks come, how we are gonna overcome that risks. So that we are gonna discuss here in the mitigation plan. Next one, roles and responsibilities, right? Yeah, roles and responsibilities. We are gonna discuss each and every person who is working in the project, their roles and responsibilities. Okay. The next one is schedule. Ninth one is schedule. What is meant by schedule? What is meant by schedule?
Like they have to maintain
Time period of
Yeah. So on what time, what we are gonna do? So suppose our project is 10 months. Okay, our project is 10 months. So developers will take to develop the project for 4 months. Okay, developers will start developing the project and they'll complete it in 4 months. Okay, so these 4 months, what we are gonna do? Okay, what we are gonna do these 4 months? So they are developing the project for 4 months. In these 4 months, what we are gonna do? And after getting delivered, by the developers, what we are gonna do? First, what all the timings that we need to? What all the things that we need to do in these 4 months? So first, what we are gonna do? First, what we do?
requirement and
Once we
Get
get the
requirements
requirement,
from the customer.
yeah, we get the requirement. So we start studying that requirement, right? We start trying to understand the requirement. We study the requirement first, initial stage, right? That will be the initial stage. So suppose our project has started in June. Okay, we got the requirement in June and we started studying the requirement in June 10th, 2022. Okay, we started reviewing the document and understanding the document from June 10th, 2022. Okay, we'll take time of some 15 days to understand the requirement. Okay, once we understand the requirement, what we are going to do?
Write the test cases as a test.
Okay. Yeah, identify all scenarios. So on 25th June, we start identifying all the scenarios based on the features that we have in the requirement. Okay, we start identifying all the scenarios that we have in the. So first we'll get a requirement. That requirement we start analyzing or studying the requirement and understanding the requirement from June 10th, 2022. Then after that, we have given a time of 15 days to understand this requirement. Once we understand the requirement, we start identifying all the scenarios from 25th of June 2022. Okay. Then after identifying the scenarios, what we are going to do? We are going to write test cases. So these 10 days we have taken to identify all the scenarios. Okay, from 25th June. Then after 10 days means it will be around 6th of July. From 6th of July, we start writing the test cases. Okay. From 6th of July, we start writing the test cases. After writing the test cases, what we are going to do?
Execution.
Okay, we need to execute, right? So assume that this time has taken 4 months. Okay. By the time the project has been, the code has been deployed to testing environment from the developers. So we have taken 4 months to study, identify all the scenarios, write the test cases, review the test cases, discuss with the developers, everything that has been completed within these 4 months. So meanwhile, the product will be delivered to us to test it. So we'll start test execution. So test execution will take 3 months. Okay. So in these 3 months, we're gonna test. If you have any defects, we'll send it to the developers. Developers will fix it, and we will get the fix again. Then we're gonna retest. So this whole process will be done, and this time will be taken 3 months. Okay, like this, we are gonna mention each and every date, on what date we are gonna start execution, on what date we are gonna identify all the scenarios, on what date we are gonna read the document and understand the requirement. So each and every dates will be mentioned in the schedule. So on what date we are gonna deliver the project, on what date we need to finish testing. So everything will be given date wise. So each and every step, on what date we need to finish. This is the schedule. In this schedule, will be given the timings when we need to start reading the requirement, when we start identifying the scenarios, when we start writing the test cases, when we start executing the test cases. Okay. So this is the schedule that we are gonna have. I got it?
Yes.
Okay. No content.
Yes.
Okay. What is the time?
It's 9:15.
Okay. Sorry, Andy. It's continuous. Continuous call. You want to take break?
No need.
Okay. Next one. Next one is 10th one. Defect tracking. So in the defect tracking, we are gonna decide what tool we are gonna use. Tool we are gonna use to raise a defect. So will every company will follow, or every team will have a test management tool. Okay. Test management tool. We have different test management tools. So one is ALM, application lifecycle management. Lifecycle management. This is from HP. Okay. This is one of the test management tool. Jira is the another test management tool. It is from Atlassian something. So next one, shortcut. This is one of the test management tool. So these are the three main important test management tools in the market. 90% of the people are using Jira. Okay, because Jira is more flexible to use it for agile methodology. Okay, and ALM is just 5%. It is a paid version. It is too costly. Okay, shortcut are using some 3%, 3 or 4% people. Okay, so Jira is the main tool that every team will be using for test management tool. These are the three types of test management tools. Okay, so here we are going to decide which tool we are going to use it to raise the defects, and what is the template that we are going to follow. Okay, this is about defect tracking. Okay, so here we are going to decide which tool we are going to use for defect management. Okay, next 11th one, test environment. Test environment. So what are the testing environments that we are going to have it here? So how many stages of test environments that we are going to do? Suppose if it is on a web-based application, so just leave it. So in that this here, we are going to decide what all the environments that we are going to test it. So suppose we need to test it in 3 environments. Suppose QA environment. This is one of the environment that we are going to have. Then next after QA, then we are going to test it in staging environment. Then after completing the testing in staging environment, then it will go live production. Okay, these are the testing environments that we are going to use to test our test cases for that particular application. QA environment means it will be the testing environment. Okay, this will be testing environment. So in the testing environments, few features because it just is a testing environment. It won't be like similar to production, but little bit similar. So few features we are not able to test it in testing environment. So that's why we are gonna test it again the same. Suppose 100 test cases that we have tested in testing QA environment, then the same thing will be testing it in the staging environment. This staging environment will be similar to production environment. So whatever the feature, whatever the functionalities, whatever the devices, whatever the settings that we have, whatever the servers that we are using, the same we are using here. So production environment and staging environment will be same. So if you see it in a mirror, how will look the same way, right? So it will be the same mirror image. Okay. That's why we're going to test it in staging environment. Testing environment won't be like production environment, but it will be similar, but it won't that exact. because we can't maintain the same servers in QA, in staging, and in production. So that's why it will increase the cost of the project. So in the QA environment, we'll have a similar structure, but not that high. It will be little bit high level environment. In the staging environment, same. Whatever the servers that we are using in the production, the same servers that we are gonna use it in staging. So if we test it here, we are 100% confident that if it is working here, it will work here. If it is not working here, due to some environment, due to some server issues, that test cases will leave it here and we'll test it here. Anyhow, we are going to test all the 100 test cases here, but if anything is not working in this particular QA environment, we no need to worry. We'll try to run it in staging. So if it is not working in staging also, then we can have a discussion with the team. And based on our discussion, we are going to raise a defect. Okay, so we'll be having QA environment, staging environment, then production. Then it will go to the production. So what are the environments? How many types of environments that we are going to test? How many environments we are going to test it in each and every release? So that we are going to discuss in test environment. Okay, got it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The next one is entry and exit criteria. 12th one is entry and exit criteria. What is mean by entry and exit criteria? What is mean by entry and exit criteria? Entry and exit. What is mean by entry? What is mean by exit? So to start our testing, what all the things that we need to complete before we start our executing the test cases? Before we start our testing, what are the things that we need to complete? What are the things that we need to complete before we start our testing? Tell me.
We need to get requirements, then prepare scenarios, then test cases.
Yeah.
Everything should be ready. Then only we can execute the test case.
Entry. To start executing the functional testing, to start executing execution. Okay. What is the entry requirements? We need to have the requirement document. Yeah. We need to prepare high level scenarios. We need to write the test cases. Right? What else we need? Test data. If any test data required, then we are gonna have a test data. So everything, whatever the things that we need that we need to complete. That is an entry criteria to execute the functional testing. Okay, we need to have the requirement. We should have written high level. We should have written test cases. If we require a test data, that we need to prepare the test data. Okay, these are all the things that we need to. And code should be deployed. Right? Code should be deployed in QA environment. So this is the entry criteria for our execution. Okay, this is the entry criteria for our execution. So what is the entry criteria to start our testing? We need to have the requirement. We should have completed high level scenarios. We should have completed our test cases, and the test cases that should be reviewed and approved. And if we require any test data, we need to prepare the test data, and the code should be deployed by the developers into the testing environment. So if all these met, then this is the entry criteria to execute our testing. To start execution This is the entry criteria. Okay, so then we start executing the functional testing. What is mean by functional testing? Checking each and every component thoroughly against the requirement. Yeah. So we'll complete our functional testing. What is the exit criteria? Here exit criteria will come. Once we finish testing, this is what all the things that we meet for the exit criteria. So to go to the integration testing, okay, what all the things that we need to meet? This is exit criteria for functional testing and entry criteria for integration testing. Okay, exit criteria for functional testing, and that will become the entry criteria for integration testing. So what are the things that we need to finish to go to the integration testing? So suppose A, B, and C are the components that we have developed, and we should complete A component thoroughly, we should complete B component thoroughly, we should complete C component thoroughly, and there should not be any major defects. Suppose we divide defects into 3 parts. Okay, major, critical, major, and minor. So we'll divide the defect severity will divide like this. If it is a critical defect, then that is blocking the testing. If it is a major, that is blocking some of the functionalities. Minor defect, that is not blocking any functionality. So we'll divide the defects into like this: critical, major, minor. Okay, critical means that needs to be fixed. Major means that is not a blocker, but we need to be get fixed. Yeah, minor means that's not a problem. Functionality wise, it's not blocking us. Okay, so we'll divide our defects into these 3 types. So for functional testing exit criteria, we decide it should not, major defect should not be more than 20. Okay, critical defects should not be more than 5. Okay, minor defects should not be more than 40. This is the exit criteria for functional testing. Okay, there should not be any major, there should not be more than 20 major defects. There should not be more than 5 critical defects. There should not be more than 40 minor defects. Then only we can go for integration testing. If we have a critical defects of 7, then we can't go to integration testing. If you have major defects of 30, because our exit criteria is 20, only it should be having only 20 major defects, 5 critical defects, 40 minor defects. So if you don't meet this requirement, then we can't go for integration testing. So that we will mention here in the exit criteria. Okay, same way. So we have met all these conditions. Then we'll go for integration testing. So we have only 15 major defects. We have 3 critical defects. We have 25 minor defects. So we have met the criteria, exit criteria. Then we start testing integration. Same way, and integration testing will be having an exit criteria. That will be an entry criteria for system testing. Okay, here also the same thing. It should not be 10 major defects. It should not be more than 10 major defects. It should not be more than 2 critical defects. It should not be more than 20 minor defects. So if you meet this criteria, this is an exit criteria for integration testing, then we'll go for system testing. If you meet this an exit criteria, then that will become the entry criteria for system testing. Okay, we met this exit criteria, then we'll start system testing. So what is the exit criteria for system testing? So we should not have any critical defects. We should not have any critical defects. We should not have more than 5 major defects. We should not have more than 10 minor defects. Then only this project can be delivered to the customer. That is the exit criteria for testing. Okay, like this we'll decide. So entry criteria, in the entry criteria, before we start execution, what all the documents that required, what all the test data that required, whether the code is deployed into the testing environment or not. That is the entry criteria. Once the functional testing starts, what is the exit criteria for functional testing to go for integration testing? What is the exit criteria for integration testing to go to the system testing? And these all the details will be mentioned in the entry and exit criteria. Ardhamaindandi? Have you understood?
Yes.
Very less
అర్థమైంది.
confidence. Very less confidence, huh? Please ask. If you don't understand, I'm ready to explain it. Okay. I think 2 hours continuous is, I think it will be bore, maybe. Next, that is 12th one. What is the next one is test automation. 13th is test automation. It's completed here. So test automation here, we are going to decide what all the features that we are going to automate. What all the features that we are going to automate. And in that features, what all the test cases that we are going to automate. Suppose login feature has some 400 test cases. Are we going to automate 400? No, we're not going to automate all the 400. We're going to automate only the test cases that are using repeatedly in each and every release. So we'll take a bunch of test cases which we are executing in each and every release. So that test cases will be taken here and that will be automated. So we'll decide what all the test cases that we need to automate. So that will be decided here. Okay, in the automation. What all the features that we are going to automate and what all the test cases that we are going to automate. So this will, so test plan document is not one-time preparation. So this will be regularly updating. Okay, this is a continuous process. This document will be updating continuously. So it's not a fixed document. So this document will be updating each and every time wherever required. So here, how we are gonna tell what all the test cases that we are gonna execute? In the initial step, we can't do, right? Because we haven't completed the test cases. Suppose we haven't completed the test cases and we don't know what all the test cases that is gonna repeat, right? So that test cases will be knowing only when we start executing, right? What all the test cases that are repeating. So A, B, C, these are the features that we have. We have executed A, then we are gonna execute B, then we are gonna execute C. So we'll come to know what all the test cases that we are going to repeat in B. What all the test cases that we are gonna repeat in C. So those test cases will be taken. So these test cases will come to know only once we start executing, right? So that's why this document will be keep on updating until the end of the project. Okay, just first we'll prepare a theoretical document, then we'll be adding we'll be continuously adding into the test plan document. So this is about automation. The next one is deliverables. In the deliverables, so what all the documents that we are gonna give it to the customer? So test case document. Okay, what else? Execution report document, test plan. Okay, test case document, testability matrix document, execution report document, defect report document. So what all the documents that we are gonna give it to the customer? So those are the things that we are gonna mention here in the deliverables. Okay, next 15th one, templates. So in the templates, what are the templates for what template we are going to use it for test plan? What template we are going to use it for a test case design, test case design, test case to write the test cases. Okay, what is the template that we are going to follow? What is the template that we are going to use it for traceability matrix? Okay, what is the template that we are going to use it for execution report? What is the document that we what is the template that we are going to use it for defect report? So template means, what is mean by template? So suppose test case template, test case design template. So it should be test case ID, test case name, okay, preconditions, expected result, actual result, okay, any other. So if you want to mention comments, comment section will keep it comments. This is the template that we are going to follow to prepare test case. So this is the template that we are going to follow for test case design. So the same way for test plan, same way for traceability matrix, same way for, so whatever the templates that we are going to follow, it will be like this. So this is the template for test case design. So like this, for each and every template that we need to follow will be kept in the template section. Okay. Any doubts? This is about test plan. Okay. So do you want me to continue, or how is it? Are you okay to continue, or you need any break?
Enough for today.
Okay. Okay, Andy. So okay, we'll stop for today. So next tomorrow, I'm gonna discuss about defect life cycle. Okay, this is also part of the STLC, right? We have a defect report section. So we are gonna raise the defects here, right? So what all the steps that we are gonna follow in the defect life cycle? So it is part of STLC. So we'll discuss about the defect life cycle, and we are gonna discuss about what are the testings. So I already told you, right? First, I'll discuss tomorrow defect life cycle. Okay, what is meant by regression testing? What is meant by unit testing? What is meant by smoke testing? Okay, what is meant by sanity testing? What is meant by retesting? What is meant by ad hoc? What is meant by exploratory? So these are the different types of tests that we normally do in each and every release. So these definitions we need to know, and when we are using sanity, when we are using retesting, when we are using ad hoc, when we are testing exploratory, when we do smoke test, when we do unit test, when we do regression test. These are the things that we need to know. So by this, we can complete our manual testing. Okay, from I think most probably tomorrow we'll be completing our manual testing topics. So with this, we will finish our manual testing. Then from Wednesday or Thursday, we'll start our Java program.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Try to read the documents and try to come with the questions. See you tomorrow. Bye.